Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your host, Dystro, and this is the final episode of March. This month has gone by super fast, super quick. Um, but yeah, tonight's episode is another breakdown episode. But this one is some of the Simple Plan variety. This one's going back to 2016 for Taking One for the Team. There's 14 songs on the docket, so let's just not waste any more time and let's just get right on into it, huh? So the first song up on the docket tonight is Opinion Overload. This one is the opening track to Taking One for the Team. It is a really good opening track, I would say so myself. And I will say that this song was, uh, I guess, it was a good opener to begin with. Simple Plan has never been adored by the critics, but the initial reactions to the first release tracks were just plain brutal. Also, I'm reading off of a an article here over this album, so please bear with me. Um, so they actually made Simple Plan go back to the studio and channel their frustration into the song, and at least one more that made this album. The drums and guitars, along with Pierre's anger-driven vocals, created an incredible track that will surely be a favorite live track for many fans. Lyrically, it's a great big fuck you to all the haters and naysayers who never really understood or never even wanted to understand what Superplan were still doing on this scene. A familiar meaning could be also found hidden in between the lines of farewell, which we'll get to, only directed at someone else. In all honesty, those lyrics have been haunting me since Superplan first released Farewell to the Republic. With that being said, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Good opening track, and this is plenty more for us to come. Also, let me just point out here, this is the fifth studio album from Simple Plan. It was released on February 19th, 2016, and following the release of three buzz singles in mid 2015, the band released I Don't Want to Go to Bed with Nelly. And then you have Boom, you have Opinion Overload, like I said, Singing It in the Rain, and Perfectly Perfect as some of the singles from this album. This was the last album with the bassist, David, because he had to leave in July of 2020 due to some sexual misconduct allegations. And then this was also the last album that they did through Atlantic Records. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of a little. We've had I guess the ninth year anniversary of this album. That was like not like last month. So yeah, a little interesting little tidbit there. So the next song on the docket, number two, is called Boom. This is a straightforward, like, love song about the feeling of being in love and how the presence of a loved one makes your heart go boom. So like the idea, like the song revolves around the idea of being swept off your feet by someone who has a profound impact on you. And then the little lyric says like crazy little heart go boom. The phrase is a central metaphor symbolizing the overwhelming and exhilarating feeling of being in love. So like the lyrics and the imagery kind of is like expresses the feeling of being captivated and how the person makes the singer feel like their favorite song and shine bright like lighters in the dark. And then it's also characterized by straightforward and catchy lyrics, making it a easy to relate to anthem, I almost said album, for those who are experiencing the joy and excitement of love. Case in point, my friend, my co-host, Marissa, right now, she's been, dating this guy for a few months now and all that stuff, and she's making her, like crazy little heart go boom. Let's just put it that way. I'm gonna give it a 8.5 out of 10. It's one of those songs that I have to kind of maybe listen to a little bit more of. But the music video is really funny. It's pretty cool. Got some like pop punk people coming in here like Pierce the Veil and everybody else that's in that music video. I can't remember who's all in that music video. But it's kind of cool to like get that little like I guess pop punk roots in there, I guess. But yeah. So that being said, another love song on this album, back to back, I should say. The third song on this album is called "Kiss Me Like Nobody's Watching." This one's about embracing love openly and unapologetically, regardless of social expectations or judgment. They also, the song encourages listeners to celebrate their love and not worry about what others think, and that is true. Don't care what, like, you shouldn't care what other people think about your love for another person. Just be happy. Just be happy with who you love. So here's some like themes and all stuff. So it's like a theme of unconditional love. The lyrics convey a message of finding love and expressing it without reservation, emphasizing the importance of celebrating who you love, regardless of social norms, societal norms, I should say. The song's title and lyrics suggest a defiance of external opinions and a desire to live authentically in love. It's like a rebellion against social pressure. Let's just say that too. Um, and it's also positive and uplifting too, because the song's overall message is positive and uplifting, promoting the idea that love should be celebrated and cherished, not thrown to the wayside. And plus, like the song is a rock, simple playing song with a retro-ish pop punk feel, which I mean that's true. It's kind of like going back to their roots a little bit, like with "Get Your Heart On," the latest that album before they came out with this one. It was kind of like that pop punk roots that they had at that one going into this one. But also that being said, I give Kiss Me Like Nobody's Watching. I would give that an 8 out of 10. It's not a knock on the song or anything. It's just I don't hear this one as much as some of the others and all that stuff. If that makes sense. But yeah, let's just move on to number 4. So on to song number 4. It is called Farewell, and it also has Jordan Pundick of Newfound Glory guest vocals, which is kind of cool. Got that another pop punk influence on this song as well. This one's a straight up forward, like, bittersweet breakup song. But lyrically, at first glance, it feels like a straight up bittersweet breakup song, and in a way it is. But while we were writing it, this is what some people were saying. While we were writing it, we were also channeling a lot of different emotions, and there's a second hidden, deeper meaning to every line that relates to being in a band. But then this is what Pierre had said. It's a breakup song that is kind of about realizing that the person you're with or you hang out with is just not worth it anymore, and it is not working. There's also a little hidden meaning in that song about being a band. So it's kind of like it is a breakup song in a way, but then like with the bassist David kind of leaving the group, it's kind of like they're breaking up with him. And that's why it's also like saying like there's a little hidden meaning in that song about being in a band, because sometimes being in the band is kind of just it's a hard life. You gotta be on the road every day, day in day out, and you're with each other like so many days out of the year, and it's kind of like one of those like I said, like being in a band, kind of like something like if somebody's not working, or if the whole band's not working and all that stuff, so they gotta like break up with them and then kind of get somebody else in and all that stuff, and it's just like this whole snafu, and then they gotta get along with them and all that stuff. So it's like I can understand that. I would give this song I would give this song an 8.5 out of 10. I do remember when me and Marissa had first listened to this album together many years ago. We both liked this song. I know her two favorites were Opinion Overload and Boom. I think she had liked at the end of this of the album. She liked from start to the very almost second to last song. That last song we just didn't like very much, but we'll get to it. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10. To song number five. Sorry about that. To song number five, "Singing in the Rain," featuring Our City on vocals, and the songwriters for this one was Pierre and Chuck. So that's cool. The whole "Singing in the Rain" song, it's about adversity and being positive through it all. But that's what Jeff Stinko said. But this is what Pierre had said too. The world is a dark place these days, and a lot of weird stuff is happening. And it's about keeping a smile on your face and just keep moving forward. And that is true. It is very, very true. It's like the first chorus here. I'm reading through the Sunday paper and it's all bad news. I'm looking for a smile on the streets, but it's just no use. Sing with me now. And then going into the pre-chorus, I jump into my car, turn the key, but it just won't start. I got a text from my ex. It's official. She just broke my heart. So it's like you gotta try to keep a good smile on your face. Just kind of just move forward on stuff. But like what Pierre has said, the world is a dark place these days, and it is true. Um, but I didn't really like this one as much as I did some of the other ones. It's still not a bad song. It's not a bad song at all, like by any means. I gave this one an eight out of 10. I would just have to listen to it more, which I probably will at some point. Just get a little refresher in my head here. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. So to song number six, it is called "Everything Sucks." I do remember liking this one very, very much. Which I mean, it's obvious here. But this is what Pierre had said about meaning of the song. "Everything Sucks" is a feel good song about everything sucking when you're not around. Very straightforward, to the point. It's like when somebody's not around at like your job or a place of work or something like that. It just sucks. Like everything sucks. But then like when they're there, it makes the time and day go by. So it's like I kind of get that feeling because sometimes at my job when somebody that I liked or like a coworker that I like is like if they're not there, it's just like it just makes the day just drag and just does not feel good. But then like when they're there, it's just like, oh shit, hey buddy, like like, and then we're just chilling out and hanging out and all that stuff in the store. I'm gonna give this one. I was probably gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I personally like this one. With opinion overload. Because I think I liked this one a little bit more better. Um, but I mean that's saying much. That's not really saying much, but yeah, everything sucks. Yeah, I guess everything does suck sometimes. So to song number seven is called "I Refuse." Again, Pierre and Chuck are the primary songwriters on this whole album, so kudos to him or kudos to them, I should say. So this whole song is about self-empowerment. It's about knowing who you are, and I think in life you get a lot of opinions, and people tell you what you should do or how you should live your life. And this one is about saying, I refuse to change who I am for anyone. That is what Pierre had said. But this is what Jeff Stinko said, one of the lead guitarists. It kind of states a lot of things about this whole record because this record is about being yourself, being in a band, and just feeling strong about it and feeling confident about it. So this song is a kind of part of this whole identity meaning of this record. And it kind of goes to show because like some of these songs it's about like with some opinions and all that stuff, like it's like you don't sometimes you don't really want to care about other opinions, people's opinions, if I could speak today. But then like with like Boom and Kiss Me Like Nobody's Watching, it's like like with your heart and like kind of think with your heart, like you have like different, like it's like kind of like saying it's like think with your heart, not with your mind. Or kind of think with your mind, not with your heart. Sorry. And I kind of realized that. And it's kind of just like like there's not a lot of I'm trying to think of the word. Like social norms. Like social norms is like you gotta be like this, or you gotta be like that, and all stuff. But it's like they're kind of basically saying like like don't like, don't change for anybody. Like, you refuse to change for somebody because it's like you don't want to be that, like, you don't want to be like them. Like, be yourself, and that's a good positive message coming out of that. With that being said, I'd give this song a 8 out of 10. And it's not a bad song either. Like, this whole album, it's got no bad songs, maybe except for the last one, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So, moving on to song number 8, it is called I Don't Want to Go to Bed. It is featuring Nelly. We love Nelly over here on the podcast channel. There's one song in particular that we always reference on this channel sometimes, and is over and over, featuring Tim McGraw, which, like, you would think rap and country would never mix, but hey, we're here. So, this is just expressing the singer's desire to stay awake and spend time with someone, emphasizing the feeling that their life feels incomplete without that person. It's like the core message is the singer's unwillingness to go to bed alone, wanting to stay up and continue spending time with the person that they love. And the lyrics kind of mention, like, all my nights are sleepless, highlighting the emotional turmoil and lack of rest caused by their desire to be with that person, which that's pretty true. The song conveys that there is a strong desire for connection and intimacy, with the singer stating that they won't give up even if it takes me all night to be with that person. The lyrics suggest that the singer feels incomplete without the other person, saying that their life just won't feel right until until I have you're tired. And it says, let's get this out of the way. This phrase indicates that the singer is direct and upfront about their feelings and desires, wanting to make their feelings clear. And that is true. I gave this 8.5 out of 10. And plus, like, here's why. This song was actually like one of those, like, it was like, it's very feel good, very like, kind of, I don't know why in a way, but it kind of made me feel pumped up. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But yeah, I gave it 8.5 out of 10. And plus, it's like, it's got Nelly on it. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to, like, have a song with Nelly on it, right? So on to song number 9 of this album. It is called Nostalgic. This is what Pierre had said about the song. It's about, feeling nostalgic. It's about missing a person that you were with before and saying, like, man, it was fun. But then this is what Jeff Stenko said. It kind of makes me nostalgic of the Warped Tour era of 2004, which that was a good era. But this is also what Pierre had said about this one as well. That's kind of the hidden meaning behind this one. It's about how things used to be, but it's hidden behind a love song. But some of the lyrics express that is a bittersweet longing for a past relationship and the memories associated with it, evoking the feelings of sadness and desire to forget, but ultimately unable to move on. Which, looking at hindsight, there's some people that are still longing for that partner or spouse of yesteryear. And it's kind of hard to move on because it's like, you want to kind of like be with that person, and it's like that was your forever soulmate. The song uses specific details like looking through a book, driving on sunset, and a mixed CD to trigger vivid memories of a past relationship. The lyrics reveal a strong sense of longing and sadness with lines like, I can't stop myself when I listen, reliving every minute, and I wish that I could forget you even exist. The singer is unable to move on from the past, as evidenced by the lines can't stop myself when I'm thinking, and I only see your face. The lyrics mention every year when October comes around, suggesting that when certain times or events can trigger those nostalgic feelings, which is true. The hoodie with a hole from the other person slept in is an intangible reminder of the past relationship, further fueling the nostalgic. The singer expresses a desire to forget, but acknowledges the difficulty, stating, maybe someday my heart will be over it, maybe someday I'll be okay, but I miss you and I hate feeling like this. And that is true. Kind of like, it kind of just reminds me of from debut album, Perfect. Kind of reminds me of that because like nobody's ever perfect. Um, I gave this song an 8.5 out of 10. And I think it's just something about it, for the lack of a better term, feels nostalgic about it. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for nostalgia. So on to number 10, track number 10, I should say. Perfectly Perfect. This one is kind of this one kind of breaks my heart a little bit. For a good reason. With my friend, my Pookie, Marissa. I know she doesn't really like me to call her that, but whatever. Um, Within like the last few months, she has been kind of going on kind of a mental health journey, I should say, for the lack of a better term. And sometimes she feels like she is not perfect, but I think to her, I think she is perfectly perfect. And plus, not a lot of people in this world thinks of themselves as perfect, but nobody is perfect. But Pierre had first joked the song was about David before he had a sex change, but then revealed that this song was in fact inspired by this Dove commercial. And it goes into like a little link of it, in which an artist draws people without seeing them by their own description, and he draws them again by the description of a stranger. The results show that that people are overly critical of themselves and see flaws where others see beauty. Pierre added that it's personal to him as too, as despite the fact that his wife often doesn't see herself as beautiful, he always sees her that way, which is a good like indication of like some people they don't see sometimes they don't see flaws, they only see perfection. But everybody has their own flaws, but they're always not perfect. But it's also good to have that spouse or partner to be like, hey, like, you are always perfect. Don't ever doubt yourself. Never doubt yourself, because at the end of the day, you're perfect to me. And it's always good to have that reminder of that person or a loved one, or even a hell of a grandparent or a coworker. Be like, hey, like you look perfect today. Like even though sometimes like deep down they might not look like it or they might not seem like it, but it's like, hey, like just have that validation. Be like, hey, like like you're beautiful today, or you're pretty today, or whatever. um, I gave this song a 9 out of 10. Because of the kind of the good overall message behind it. And it's Marissa, to me, you're always perfectly perfect. I love you. Moving right along to track number 11 is called "I Don't Want to Be Sad." Um, so there is some good meanings here. Let's just start with what Pierre has to say. So Pierre says it was a take on the whole thing about the band, because when you're in a band, you're considered sort of that emo genre, and that you're supposed to be sad. I'm like, I don't want to be sad anymore. I'm happy now, and it's another way to say I want to be happy. But this is what Chuck, one of the other songwriters, had said. The idea behind that song is that we have a lot of fans that write us and pull up by a concert and tell us how much our music has helped them. It's crazy to see how many people seem to be struggling. Music can sometimes be the only lifeline for them. It's because it becomes their faith, what they what they use to keep going, and I think that's inspired us as a band. We're so saddened by how many kids are dealing with depression, and we've written a lot of songs about that subject. But this time we wanted to write about it from a different perspective. So now it's more like, I'm sick of feeling like this, I want to be happier. There's an element of inspiration from the Bleacher song, I Want to Get Better. I suppose it's about empowerment instead of complaining. The song encourages kids to be done with the sad. And that's a pretty good message from Chuck right there, who is the drummer of Simple Plan. Awesome shout out to you. I gave this song an 8 out of 10. I don't hear it as much as I'd like to. But I feel like this song is kind of like a good message behind it too. Um, like I said, like they have written so many songs about being sad all the time, and also that's like they want to switch it up and be like, hey, like let's just be happier now. And yeah, that's a pretty good message behind that. So on to track number 12 is called P.S. I Hate You. What a name for a track, right? So this one, I guess to me, it's kind of like it's a like a letter or it's something of to that vein. But the meaning of it is the name Sophia that is used in the song has been used as a symbolism for a person one could be in relationship with, who poisons that relationship with his or her lies, cheating, etc. The band has stated that they could have easily used any other name, such as Olivia, and that is not a dig at a particular Sophia. So this is what Jim Stinko has said. P.S. I Hate You is about a toxic relationship. It's about having someone in your life for way too long, and really, when that person goes, like you're like, wow, thank God, this is so much better without you. Everybody's got a person like that in their lives. But this is what Pierre has to say. You know where we got the name Sophia from? We're looking for a word that would sound very well on the song, and my daughter watches this show called Sophia the Princess. Um, I guess it's a kind of little funny little dig. I guess a little bit. I don't know really want to what to rate this one. It's like I don't hear it as much as I like to either. I would, I guess I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's not it's like it's one of those songs that I was just like, okay, like I could take it or leave it, sort of thing. Um, but yeah, let's just move on, I guess. So on to song number 13, Problem Child. Okay, this one's kind of a doozy a little bit, but let's just bear with me. This is what Pierre had to say for this song. It was inspired by a personal story for Chuck. His brother had a lot of struggle growing up and figuring out how to become himself, and I think that made for a difficult childhood a little bit. And it was kind of a reflection of what his growing up with his parents was with his parents. So it's kind of a very serious and a little sadder subject. But also in the exact same vein is about the feeling of not measuring up to parents' expectations and feeling like an inconvenience even if loved. So like kind of the core theme of it is kind of like it's exploring the feeling of being a problem child in not a literal or rebellious way, but in the sense of not living up to the hopes and dreams that your parents have for their children. The lyrics convey a sense of self doubt and a feeling of being inconvenienced, despite the fact that the narrator's mother insists that they're always the best thing that had ever happened to her. So like there's some kind of personal connection there too. With Pierre because he had said that the song is not about not feeling good enough and apologizing for not being what his parents wanted him to be. Also, there's a little behind the scenes thing here. In the video titled "Problem Child Behind the Scenes," Pierre discussed that the song's meaning, emphasizing its personal significance for him, his family, and his brother, who was going through a tough time. Um, and I think that was part of the "I Wish I Could Save You," the "Save You" song from their self-titled album earlier on in their career, which was a very very good song and has a good little message at the end of it. Talk about like cancer and all that stuff. Um, I would give Problem Child a 9 out of 10 too. It is a really good song, and I kind of feel like that's kind of like me in some ways, and like I think that's all of us in some ways too, because like when we're trying to do something that's like different from like what our parents expect for us to do, it's like we feel like we're just super just like disowned. We feel like we just don't belong, like just where we are at. Because then like sometimes like with our moms and dads and all stuff, like because I know like some parents out there they just want their kids to be like what they want to be, but not worry about like what their kids want to be. And that's why like some of us rebel in certain ways too, because like we're just being like, well, like screw mom and dad, like I want to do my own thing, and they're like, no, Um, but it's a pretty good little message behind that. But on to the last final track. Just bear with me. So, on to the last and final track, I Dream About You, featuring Juliet Sims. I don't know who Juliet Sims is, but she is a American songwriter and singer. She is like with some of the other like a good chunk of like good labels here: Epic, RCA, Sony Records, and she's from Clearwater, Florida. So that is actually kind of cool. That's her origin, I should say. She was born in San Francisco, but that's kind of cool. So this song is about longing, hope, and the idea that even when apart, the singer and their love interest are connected through shared dreams and feelings. So the lyrics express a deep yearning for the person that the singer is in love with. Even when they are physically separated, the song suggests that despite their distance, their thoughts and feelings are intertwined. The title itself, I Dream About You, highlights the idea that the singer's dreams are filled with their love interest, suggesting that there is a strong emotional bond there. The song also hints at the hope that the other person is experiencing similar feelings and dreams, creating a sense of mutual connection. And this is where Juliet Sims contribution comes in. Her vocals add a layer of vulnerability and longing to the song, further emphasizing the theme of connection and shared emotions. Um, but I think like this one, uh, when me and Marissa had listened to this album like years ago, we didn't really like this one. It was kind of like it was like one of those like things where it's like you bring that one person to a party and it's like they're super super awesome and all that stuff, but then it's like when it gets to like crunch time and all that stuff, it's like they just kind of let you down. That's kind of what this song is a little bit, because from the first opening track to Problem Child, we had no problems with, no pun intended, but we had no problems with. But then when we got to I Dream About You, it was kind of just like a bad closer. I wish they could have switched maybe I Dream About You with like Perfectly Perfect or Nostalgic or something. Just kind of end on like a high note a little bit. But I gave this song a 7 out of 10. That is like the lowest like I can go on that. Because like I don't want to like derail the whole song. It's like it's not a bad song, but it's like I think it was just like one of those like it was like it just let it just go down a little bit. I mean it's not really a bad thing, but it's just like one of those things where it's like I wish they could have just ended on a high note. Good opener, uh, would have been a cool closer. Good middle of the road there. Would have ended the album for us on a good high. But it just didn't do that. So with all 14 songs accounted for, gave them the ratings and all that stuff. So I gotta go tally all of them up, divide it by that number, and I'll give my score. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. So, the results are in. I have tallied up all of the scores and divided it by 14, and it's not a good score. It is a 3.2. That is kind of bad. Majority of these songs, it's kind of hit or miss for some of them. But there was some there was three, like maybe four good like solid songs out of it. Some of the like singles that were from that album were pretty good too. But I think it's just like one of those things where it was like I said, good opener, bad closer. If they had switched the closer for something else, maybe that would have been a better score. But some of these songs were like just kind of like mid to like not really wanting to like listen to them and again. But yeah, it's not a good score. But that being said, I want to kind of end this a little bit on a good positive note, like kind of talking about like what the whole album means as a whole. So it's about bracing challenges and sacrifices for the sake of a group or relationship, even when it's difficult or unpopular. Some of the songs encourages resilience and teamwork, suggesting that standing up for what's right, even if it means taking the blame or making a tough choice, is ultimately worth it. So, and then there's like lots of sacrifice and resilience, like I said, teamwork and unity, standing up for what's right and overcoming challenges. But yeah, this album is like one of those albums that's like, I guess it's like it kind of wore over with age and time. It's not a bad thing. But if you want to take away some of the songs of it, I would say Opinion Overload. I would say Farewell too. I would say Everything Sucks. Nostalgic, Perfectly Perfect, and Problem Child. Like those six, I would say like it's a good takeaway from this album. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Please make sure to, well, if you made it to the very end of this video, please make sure to follow us on all social medias in the link tree in the description below, which will take you to our Instagram pages, Twitter pages, my gaming YouTube channel, our Reddit page, Reddit Reckless Paradise page, and yeah, and also, hold on a second. We have made it to over 500 subscribers. We're at 501 right now, which that's a huge accomplishment for us because it took us 3 years to get to this point, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. And tonight's song of the night is "Perfectly Perfect" by Simple Plan, and that is it. And I will see you guys in April. Peace.